Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sedona International Film Festival. I'm your host Carol Kahn and we are coming to you live on Facebook as well as the Sedona Performing Arts Center. And joining me now are two filmmakers, Matt and Lisa from the film Uprooted.
Hi.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
And Matt, you're like an old timer. You've been here last year, right?
just once before, but it's such an amazing festival. I was so excited to be able to share the festival with Lisa this time.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
So welcome, Lisa. This is your first
Thank
time
you.
in Sedona.
It is my first time in Sedona, first time at the festival. It's been amazing. We've been here since
Friday.
Oh, okay. So you've been here a couple of days.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you can't leave. I told you not.
We don't want to.
I need to make a few calls, but I'll see what I can do.
A little kidnapping might take place. Your husband won't mind,
I was
right?
going to say my husband and my dog might have an issue, but yeah, it's fine.
Well, tell us a little bit about the film.
Uprooted is a feature documentary about the history and lineage of jazz dance. So it takes us all the way back to the enslaved Africans, how it was brought over to America and Europe, and how then each era, each decade, kind of how it evolved, what was involved politically and socially at the time, which then had the influence on the dance form, coming through all the way to now, and where it's at now, where it's going, trying to be as unbiased and getting as many voices as possible, so you really do get the broad view. And we did it to kind of start a conversation about the art form, because people just think it's one thing, and it's a lot bigger than that.
Right. And you are a dancer yourself.
I was, yes, for many, many years, as was Matt.
Yes.
So all the dance team, Khadifa, the director, Zak, was the original idea. He had this idea, and they're both in London, which is why they couldn't be here, sadly. All of us had a dance background, which is why we kind of connected to it, which is why I wanted Matt to be the DP, because he shoots dance so beautifully, and it's almost like you are in the movement, or you're in the studio with the dancers, rather than locking it off and having it kind of proscenium. So that's kind of all our history melded into one,
Yeah.
complementing each other too, so essential.
And I did interview you last year because I remember talking to you about the filmmaking of the
Free.
other. Yes,
Mhm.
of Free. I remember talking because it was so beautifully
Oh, thank
shot.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we do have a trailer of the film, so let's just take a look at that so we can talk about it some more.
Great.
Jazz is in a place of flux at the moment. There's a little bit of confusion about whether or not it's necessary or whether it's relevant.
What is jazz in the 21st century? Where is it going? Is it still holding on to the values of where it came from?
The aesthetic has changed so much that we don't recognize it today.
I think it's also where's the support for the community that this art form comes from. And when people would say, this dance is cool, but I don't want to mess with you as a person, there's danger in that.
We go to these studios, we go to these universities, and you get one side of the picture. And there's a whole other side that y'all don't even know.
That looks amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
And just beautifully shot. It's really, really good. So
Thank you.
I want to ask, what came out of this that surprised you?
I mean, for me, my dance background was musical theatre and very codified, when you watch the film, that is part of the kind of journey of how the white men codified their techniques. So even though I knew where it all came from, it was a very humbling experience, because each person we interviewed kind of enlightened me personally to stuff I didn't know about, which as an adult who's been a professional dancer, who's taught musical theatre and mathematics, which is a technique, I just was like, wow, this is like mind-blowing. And that just made me very humble throughout the process, because I just thought, and that also made me go, this is essential, because there's a lot of people like me who think they know everything, but you really don't. And you can always dig further and further and have conversations that aren't always comfortable, but essential. So yeah, I think that was, and the community, the jazz community, I think is strong.
What about you?
Yeah, very similar with Lisa. Just my training was very focused on theatrical jazz, so kind of getting under the umbrella of the larger picture of it all and absorbing it and learning it and having conversations and difficult dialogues at times was incredible. Even my camera team was starting to ask questions along the process too, because it was just so interesting, immersive, and educational throughout the process.
Right. So, I understand jazz music. Again, it just keeps recreating, because that was almost like the basis of music as well as dance. So where is the misrepresentation, do you think, in coming up with this film? What do you think that people don't realize about it?
I think it's the roots, where I can't say all. There might be some people that don't realise that it really did start in Africa and from African dance, West African dance, how grounded it was, the journey that took, and why then it evolved the way it did. I think that's one of the main things of the film that kind of runs through it, just to make sure, even if you love musical theatre and that's all you want to do, but just make sure you know your history, look back and educate yourself to where it's come from, because then you get into the slippery slope of appropriation, or being inspired by something but not really giving credit to it. So it's just having that clear picture, I think.
And also pulling back on the curtain a little bit to the lack of either appreciation for it as an art form, and the lack of funding that it gets, the small amount of jazz companies there are. So that, I think, is another thing that hopefully we kind of help the audience reveal about jazz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you have a wonderful cast included in that too. Kudos.
Very
we're very lucky. Because we all have been in or were in the career at some point, so we all had kind of a reach. Like, I'd worked with Cheetah, Matt had worked with Josh Bagasse, I'd worked with Al Blackstone, my husband had worked with Andy Blankenbuehler, so I'd worked with Susan Stroman. So we were like, just emailing, do you want to do this? And then the other side, the educational side, was from the book Jazz Dance, The History of the Roots to Branches, which is Wendy Oliver and Lindsay Garino, which kind of inspired us as well. They have all different authors, so they helped us connect to the authors, so we were getting a really broad picture. And that's what was just so beautiful about it. And obviously, one of the Fosse dancers knew Debbie Allen really well, because she'd worked with Debbie Allen, and we were just like, oh my God, we really want Debbie Allen. And so she made that happen. So I'm very grateful to everyone, who however A-list or not they are, they're all A-listers for me, because they just gave up their time and gave us just gold, really. And we haven't used, we had around 80
interviews.
80 interviews, but we only used 50 something, because obviously 93 minutes, I was just like, it can't be 3 hours, I'm really sorry. So we have a lot of material that we want to utilize in kind of a docu-series, but that's kind of hopefully what's next.
Oh, good, so there's more.
Yes, there's a lot
plenty more.
Yeah.
Like, we've got all these plans, we're like, oh my God, we could expand on that and that, and there's stuff that we couldn't get because of people's timing and schedule, and because you're constantly raising money for a documentary. Okay, I've raised enough for this amount, and then you'd raise some more and pull the people together and go, okay, the crew's available then, Khadifa's available then, because London, New York, me in LA, where are the experts, what city should we do? It was, it was quite logistical. Luckily, I really like that.
So you made me tired.
Yeah. I know, the money side is always like, but it's almost, when you do achieve it, it just feels so good. So we're very proud of it.
Awesome, you should be. And when is the film being shown?
Tonight at 7.
At Harkins.
Awesome.
Harkins Cinema 2, I think it was,
Well, thank you.
Thank you so
Uprooted.
much.
Thank you. It's so good.
much.
I expect to see you back here next year if I don't keep you hostage.
I'll make a few things. Thank you so much.
Thank you both. And we'll be back with more from the Sedona International Film Festival after this.